Hi everybody, it's Hayley and today is my 10-week pregnancy update. Today is Saturday the 2nd of March and I am 10 weeks pregnant today, and yes, that is correct, because I found out that the ultrasound lady told me when I went in for my ultrasound, which was on a Friday, that I was 8 weeks that day, but I was actually only 7 weeks 6 days. So my turnovers are on a Saturday instead, which is not a big deal. It's only another day, who cares about that? But yeah, I've been in my pajamas all day today, and I got dressed about half an hour ago, and it's like only a couple of hours until dinner time, but I've just been feeling really rotten today. Just bleh, really bleh. Yeah, so anyway, I thought I would just get into what's been going on the last week in terms of symptoms, so to speak, and things that are going on. I've got a bit of extra saliva going on, and it's not like water saliva, it's kind of thick that I'm constantly having to like swallow back. So yeah, I'm constantly swallowing. I have this week started with some nose issues, and that it's kind of congested. I'm finding that in the mornings I need to blow my nose a lot. It just feels, you know, if I sniff, it feels like there's gunk in there. And oftentimes when I do blow my nose, there is blood in the boogers. I'm not having like nosebleeds or anything, but there is blood in there. So yeah, that's started this week. Also, something has kicked up a notch this week, and that has been this overfull feeling that I've been having. And it hasn't been like too bad, but this week it really decided to get bad, and I constantly feel overfull, like I've got food sitting right up here, and it doesn't matter whether I ate 10 minutes ago or 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago, it feels like it's right here. And I feel like if I try and eat something else, you know, even if it has been, you know, 3 or 4 hours, I'm gonna like vomit it all back up. That's what it feels like. So I feel really bloated, really fat, and just constantly like I have just eaten too much. Like, it just makes you feel sick, makes the nausea worse. So I don't know what to really do about that. Because I mean, one morning for breakfast I decided to have some grapes, and I had 10 grapes, and I felt like they were sitting right up here, and I'm like, oh my god, like my stomach has been empty overnight, like how am I feeling like these grapes are sitting right here? Just even water does it. It's really weird. Up until today I wasn't feeling as tired during the day. Was feeling like that was sort of starting to ease off a bit, but today I've just been really super tired, been sleeping pretty much all day. I don't know whether that's because I didn't get to bed till a bit later last night or what, but yeah. I had my first midwife appointment on Tuesday, which was the 26th of February. So yeah, I had my first midwife appointment, and I have the midwife that I had, excuse me, with AJ, and she's great. And so our first appointment was really just like going over my medical history. Sorry, I've got hiccups now. Things that were going on with this pregnancy, and sort of she was just sort of trying to remember back to how my labour and delivery went with AJ and all that sort of stuff. The notes, my labour and delivery notes and things that I had with her last time, she was, they were still being sent back to her. So yeah, but yeah, basically it was just like a catch up really. We were there for probably about half an hour, 45 minutes. It wasn't long, but we pretty much filled in all the paperwork and all that good stuff, sign stuff and everything. I have a form to get my next lot of blood work done, which I'll get at 12-13 weeks when I do my scan. I am going to be ringing up on Monday and booking that, and I'm hoping to get it for the 22nd of March, because that's when I will be 12 weeks and 6 days, and I don't really want to go after that because, yeah, I want to make sure I get a good time in there. So yeah, that's sort of updating on that front. I don't go back to my midwife until the 2nd of April. I'll be 14 weeks and so many days. So yeah, of course this time, this first appointment, all she could really do was my blood pressure, which was normal. I mean, she couldn't, you know, listen for the baby or feel for the baby because it's just too small. So yeah, she said, no, I can't really do any of that this time, but at my next appointment at 14 weeks, the baby will be big enough and we'll be able to hear the baby. So yeah, that's all good. So yeah, that's pretty much that. It was really good to see her, and I kind of felt like we just sort of picked up where we left off, really. So yeah, as far as weight and all that sort of stuff, I measured myself this morning, belly measurement, and it was 99 centimetres. I don't know if I'm going to bother keeping doing that for now, because it is so up and down, because I just feel bloated all the time and I look bloated, and it's not really a true, you know, I don't know what's true and what's not, so I don't know if I'll keep doing that. And my weight's up and down all over the place all the time. And again, I think that's just sort of bloated feeling and all this excess fluid in my body and excess blood and everything. But yeah, so I mean, I weighed myself this morning, I was 76 kilos. I don't know what I was last time I weighed myself, which was like weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, I am concerned, and I brought this up with my midwife, about gaining too much weight this pregnancy. I am very aware of it, and the reason being is that, I mean, last time I lost a whole bunch of weight in the first trimester and didn't really start gaining anything back until well after I was 20 weeks. But I only ended up being 5 kilos above my pre-pregnancy weight, so my frame could handle it. But I'm a little concerned this time around because the nausea and everything hasn't been anywhere near as bad, which I'm really grateful for. But it also means that, you know, I'm staying at the same weight that I was when I got pregnant, and I'm worried about then putting on that 12-15 kilos that is the recommended sort of amount to put on. I'm worried about, you know, my joints and everything, and my back and my hips, and whether that's going to cause long-term damage or anything. And there's also that fear of, what if I don't lose it all, you know? Yeah, so and I'm trying not to stress about it. I do have a kind of like a plan in place for once I do feel better, but yeah, it's just really sort of up in the air at the moment. But yeah, I'll probably go into more detail about my concerns with that in another video, which I'm planning to do. I really want to do it next week, and I'm hoping I'll be feeling a lot better next week. It's about sort of like my plan for this pregnancy and my intentions, and what I want to, you know, do and things. So yeah, I'll probably go into more detail in that video. But yeah, that sort of just touches base with this time. It's sort of, my concerns are very different than last time. And yeah, so I mean, there's nothing I can really do other than eat right and look after myself and do gentle exercise. I mean, if my body wants me to gain 5 kilos, it will. If it wants me to gain 20 kilos, it's going to do that, you know, even if I am looking after myself really well. And you know, my midwife just kept reminding me, you know, like, it's by the end of the pregnancy, by the time you give birth, a lot of it's fluid, a lot of it's blood, a lot of it's baby, you know, but it's just, I want to be able to, my body to be able to handle it this time and not be like, whoa, there's like a whole bunch of extra weight on. And, you know, I don't want it to affect, you know, sort of how I raise AJ and doing things with AJ and keeping up with AJ and keeping active. And yeah, I just don't want to put, I would rather put as little stress on my bones and joints as possible. But yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to gain any more than the recommended amount of weight. I gained right within the range of the recommended amount of weight with AJ. I think I gained 13 kilos. It must be about 13 kilos. And that's right within the range of between 10 and 15 is what the recommendation is. So, I mean, if I can make sure that I'm just gaining the right amount of weight that is right for baby, is doing the best for baby, then that'll be good. I just don't want to gain, you know, 30 or something like that. That would just be ridiculous on my frame. I'm short. I'm like 160 centimetres tall, which is about maybe just 5'3", maybe a little bit shorter. And I mean, the weight that I carry on my body now is the biggest weight that I've been non-pregnant. So I don't know, I just don't know how much more than the 80 kilos that I was by the time I gave birth to AJ that my body can handle. And yeah, so it's kind of, it's worrying, but I'm trying not to let it, but it is a bit hard when it's, you know, sort of like, there's only a limited amount of things that you can do to prevent, I guess, gaining too much weight. But I mean, I suppose that's a fear of, or a worry of a lot of women. But it is for me, especially because I'm not skinny in the first place. I'm a big girl. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how it goes, and I'll just got to try and keep a close eye on it. It's really hard at the moment with how I'm feeling, because there's a lot of things that, like, logically my brain says, you know, and I say to myself, yeah, I'll have an apple or something, or a good piece of fruit or whatever. Or I plan to cook, you know, vegetables that I normally love at dinner time, and then I can smell them cooking, or I look at them and I just go, you know, like, if I eat that, my body just says, if you eat that, I'll make you puke it up, sort of thing. Like, so I'm like, okay, I'll just stick to bread, which a lot of carbs is what I seem to be eating. I've noticed though the last week I've been eating a lot more fruit, and that I'll eat apples, bananas, grapes. Grapes are really, I'm finding those really easy to get down now. I think that's because they're small, you know. So I'll just try and keep eating lots and lots of that, and try and bring the vegetables back in. So I'm really hoping that in the next sort of week or two I'll really start to feel a lot better and not so nauseous. I mean, it sounds like I'm complaining about the nausea, even though, like, with Ada it was like a gazillion times worse. I guess no matter what the degree, it takes a toll in a different way, you know. If I didn't have the responsibility of looking after AJ all day, and tending to his needs and making sure he's okay and he's having fun and everything, then I would be able to, like, lie down all day and not have to get up and feel sick and all that sort of stuff. So it affects me the same way it did last time, because I was working and things last time, but it's just, I'm looking after AJ now instead of working. But yeah, there's not much I can do about that. Just double digits now, so I'm really hoping that it'll start to cool off soon. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I don't think there's anything else I need to cover. But yeah, videos will now be on a Saturday because I turn on a Saturday now. Well, I always did, but I'll just say our tech told me the wrong thing. But anyway, I just quickly wanted to say hi and thank you to my new subscribers. I noticed over the last sort of couple of weeks I've had about 3 or 4 new. I really hope you guys enjoy watching. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys next week. See ya!